Oh my god, this hair. It's the humidity. So sorry, I can only apologise. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be doing the blush tag by Michelle Wong, one of my absolute faves. She did this video with all different pics from her blush collection, and you know me and blush. I thought, why the devil have I not done this one before? So I thought, what a terrible, awful mistake and oversight I have made, and I wanted to rectify it instantly, and so here we are. And without further ado, let's jump straight into my blush collection. So the first category is newest. My newest blush is the one I have on my cheekies today, and it is the newest shade that I picked up of the Hermes blushes. This is Pomegranate Fizz. It's tricky. I was on the fence about this one just because when you see the pictures of the products, all of these blushes, I think a lot of them, they don't look how they swatch. When you look at it in the pan, it's like this, I don't know, a very sort of reddish pink, but on the cheeks it's actually much prettier, softer, peachier, like corally shade. And yeah, I loved it. As soon as I put this on this morning, first time I've used it, I was in love. I saw my friend Beauty Lux on Instagram. She posted swatches of all of the Hermes blushes that she picked up, and I was like, yeah, I need that one. So that is the newest to my collection. The next category is the most expensive. Now, I wasn't 100% sure on the prices of all of my blushes, but I think it is the Hermes. This is the shade Rose Hermes, and oh no, it's not. This is, sorry, I've lied. This is the shade Rose Tan. I think they all had like some kind of rose name, right? This is the like sort of neutral one. This is the most expensive. It was £63, and I think, as far as my calculations tell me, this is my most expensive like single blush. Not talking about palettes, but talking about single blushes, and it's incredibly underwhelming for £63. It's like okay, formula's okay, colour's okay, nothing special. Save your £63 is my advice. The next category is your most colourful blush, and mine is the same as Michelle's. It's Taj Mahal. I mean, look at that beauty. Not only is she bright and is she colourful, but it's actually a stunning blush. One of my absolute favourites. I feel like it's so unique. It's got this bronzy orange feel. It's got that gorgeous, really luminous finish that Nars blushes have, and yeah, one of my all-time favourite blushes. Such a unique shade, so pretty and colourful, but somehow really wearable, especially in summer if you have a tan to deep skin tone. Beautiful. Next up, it's the underrated category, and these I feel like are so underrated. I feel I'm the only person still talking about these, more or less, and it's MAC's Extra Dimension blushes. I myself underrated these, okay, so I get it. I forgot about these and I almost decluttered these a while ago, and then during that whole process I kind of put them in my halfway house, like before my makeup fully goes in the bin or leaves somewhere for a future life without me. I put it in the halfway house drawer, and I think about it and I swatch it and I try it again, and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I not using these? And now two of them sit in my top drawer, my favourite drawer. So this is Cheeky Bits, I think this colour. This is one of my favourites for summer. This formula is a delight. It's so luminous and glowy, but it's not chunky or glittery or sparkly. They're beautiful on the cheeks. They're very smooth, and there are some stunning colours. I think they're gorgeous. I don't see enough people using them. Hello. But they are gorgeous blushes, and they are now straight back in my circulation. Just in case nobody asked, but here's a close-up. So this is the Hermes. What's that one? That's the Hermes Pomegranate Fizz. So professional. Here is the Taj Mahal from Nars, and then we have the MAC Cheeky Bits Extra Dimension. Goodness me, what are we doing? Now the next category is a little bit sad, okay? This is the nostalgic category. get your tissues ready. I don't think it's going to be sad, to be honest, but you know, gotta add some drama somehow. It's Becca's Tigerlily. Look at her. And there was also another shade of Becca blush that I never got to try. I can't remember what it was called, but I really wanted it, and then they were no more. Becca is gone for good, and this is all that's left of her in my drawer. Kind of similar to Taj Mahal, but this one is not as orange. It's a bit peachier and a bit softer and easier to wear. It's the most stunning, beautiful finish, and it just reminds me of like the Champagne Pop Jaclyn Hill Becca in its heyday, when they were bringing out Chrissy Teigen collaborations, you know? That was like the height, the peak of like YouTube beauty creation, and you know, perhaps a simpler time for us all. So yeah, that's my most nostalgic blush. Seriously, the frizz of this hair, it's just a sight to behold. Darn heatwave has claimed its first victim in this household. Now next up, it's the oldest blush category, the oldest blush that I have. And it's my MAC Singles Self-Made palette. Now I don't know which of these is like the oldest of the bunch, but look at that, I printed off labels on the back and everything. So we have Sweet as Cocoa, we have Copper Tone, I don't even know what that is. These are not, these are, you can see they've lost magnetization, that's how old this is. Spring Sheen, Pinch Me, Cantaloupe, Make You Mine, Mocha, and Modern Mandarin. Now I have seen the ones of these that I actually really love, which are Pinch Me and Modern Mandarin. I've actually bought singles with their usual components rather than these, because as nice as these look, they're just not my thing anymore. They're just not my thing. Make You Mine, which is this one up here, I'm trying to not allow them to fall out, and Modern Mandarin, they're like my two favourite sort of standard MAC blushes. So yeah, I actually repurchased those in this sort of more standard blush packaging, but I mean, they're still pretty good, you know, they still swatch alright. I'd say, how old do I reckon those are? Certainly around the time I started my channel, so let's say over 5 years. But what's a few years over the use by date between friends, eh? Now the next category is your most affordable blush. Now you know me, there's nothing necessarily like £3 that I still have or still keep in my collection. The cheapest blush that I have is these Glowish by Huda Beauty blushes. I can't actually open it, so that's a good start. Oh, it's because I was trying to twist it and it flips up, so I'm silly. I don't like these blushes. I really didn't get along with them at all. I found them really like dry and like just chalky feeling, and then not a lot of colour payoff. So yeah, don't recommend. There's a reason probably that they are my most affordable. They also are really small, 2.5 grams versus a MAC which is 4. So although they have a lower price point, gram for gram, not as cheap as you might think. So yeah, but that's my most affordable, and it shows. Next up, your everyday blush. So the blush I picked for like my everyday blush, I mean a lot of the blushes we're talking about now could be everyday blushes, but the one I feel like it just hits that everyday blush nail on the head is Hourglass's At Night blush. I wear this a lot. When I'm doing a lot on like the eyes or the lips and I only want a little on the cheeks, I reach for this one because it's just like, it's perfect for my skin tone. And although it's really weird, these Hourglass blushes are weird because in the pan it looks red. What's gone on there? But here, I mean, this is quite a built up swatch, and you can just see it's just the perfect subtle, soft, easygoing, everyday neutral shade. Goes with every eye look, every lip colour. It's never too much, never over the top, never fights anything, and it's got that beautiful hourglass finish from their blushes. The perfect like neutral everyday shade. I can wear it in summer, I can wear it in winter, and it's just like one of the ones that I reach for when I just don't want to think, I just need to whack something on my cheeks and go. It's very inoffensive, it's very easygoing, it's very natural and very everyday friendly. Next up, let's talk about the Memory, a blush that gives you a memory. And this one is so special to me. This is Chanel's Elegance, a very well loved used blush, one of my absolute favorites, but it gives me like the most wonderful, amazing memories whenever I think about this blush, whenever I look at this blush of my incredible friend Mel. If you didn't know Mel Thompson, she is just the most talented, amazing, incredible person. Just a wonderful, kind, just one of these people that touches everybody in a way that you just will remember her, and the way that she made you feel forever, regardless of whether you knew her on YouTube or whether you knew her in person in real life. She had the same effect on everybody she ever spoke to, or even didn't speak to, but spoke to through her channel. And so my memory with this Chanel Elegance, so obviously Mel was obsessed with this blush. This is like, if not her ultimate #1 favorite blush, it was certainly in her like top 2 or 3 blushes, and that's the reason why I bought it, because she loved it so much. We had very similar tastes when it came to blushes. I always loved every blush she ever recommended, and I loved this one too. Mel was a lot fairer than me, and you can see this is a lot lighter than like my summer skin tone, but in winter this is like it's stunning, so natural, beautiful, this incredible luminosity to the skin. So if you remember, Chanel reformulated that. I mean, it doesn't seem to have happened here in the UK, but in the US, Chanel reformulated all their blushes, and Mel was devastated because this being like one of her all-time favorite blushes, before she knew it, it was like out of stock everywhere. And they were reformulating their blushes, and it was like discontinued in this formula. It was gone before she had time to like stock up. But here in the UK it was still here, so I purchased one and just sent it to her to keep her in stock, with a little note that I will always keep you in elegance. So yeah, I have this like lovely memory of her getting that, and it was just such a lovely like little moment, because it was her favorite blush. She introduced me to it, and then I got to return the favor, and so many favors that she's done, as she did for me over the years, and just supporting me and sending me little gifts. I was able to give her something that she wasn't able to get, which was a miracle, because Mel always supplied me with my Tatcha silk canvas, and which I couldn't get here. She was always sending it to me whenever I needed one, and now I was finally able to return that favor, which was very unique situation, because obviously Americans can get absolutely everything, every brand, very easily. The UK, there's so many brands and so many products we can't get here, that, you know, we need a good friend in the US to help us out with, and she was always doing that for me, that actually I was like so excited that I actually could return that favor for her. So yeah, that's my special memory blush. So the next category is worth the hype, and the blush that I think is totally worth the hype, the formula that I think is totally worth the hype, are these RMS blushes. Now, a lot of the hype around these is my own hype. I've been hyping these up since the moment I laid eyes on these, because I think they're incredible. The hype is now everywhere. Everyone is seeing and feeling the hype over these blushes, and for me they are totally worth it. They're just so beautiful and stunning to look at, but also on the cheeks. They have the nicest formula. They're so easy to blend, so easy to work with. They're so beautiful and glowy and luminous and glorious on the cheeks. Worth all of the hype that I myself am guilty of making about them. Now, a blush that I feel was not worth the hype whatsoever, sadly, very sadly, is the Pat McGrath blush duos. These are the Divine blush duos. I was so excited about these split pan blushes, stunning embossing. I loved the original Pat McGrath blush formula, so I was so excited for these to come out. It's like 2-in-1, it's going to be new shades. And then I got them and I was disappointed. It's not really that there's anything wrong with them. It's not that they're bad, that they don't blend or anything like that. It's just that there's just like nothing special about them. To me, they look far more special, and it was this huge hype when she released the pictures because they look so stunning in the pan, and the like embossing and the split pan, and because her original formula was so incredible and we were really excited to get new shades, and one of the shades was not new, and that was kind of sneakily done, and it wasn't very transparent, and two, the rest of the shades are very similar. They're very similar to each other, they're very similar to the shades they already released. So after all of the excitement and the hype, it was like a bit of a downer, you know. But it's not all bad news for Pat. Don't worry, mother, don't worry, because the next category is a Fave blush from a Fave brand, and it's you again. It's the Bridgerton palette. Yes, the packaging. We've talked about it. We hate it. We don't like it. But this blush in here doesn't get any better than this, okay? It is absolutely heavenly. The smoothness of it. It's peak luminosity without being like texture enhancing, shimmery, glittery mess. They're so smooth and buildable and blendable, and the colour and the finish is that of dreams. The sweetest summer's day dreams. Doesn't get any better. Like, oh, I think these blushes in here in this palette are my favourite formula ever of any, and if these were to get released in singles, I don't mind driving to the factory to get it myself, okay? I'll move heaven and earth. These are stunning, love them. I love Pat McGrath's brand. I don't always love every single product, as we've just seen, but this one, this one I do. The next category is your most used blush, and again, it's Pat McGrath, but we're going back to where it all began. Her original formula, single blushes. This was such a big moment when these finally arrived, and this is my pick of the bunch of her original formula. This is Desert Orchid. Much like the Hourglass blush that I already spoke about at night, this is a perfect everyday blush. When it comes to everyday, I was kind of torn between whether to choose this one or whether to choose the Hourglass at Night, because they are very similar beasts. The Hourglass at Night, I mean, I was going to say it's more luminous. It's just kind of a different luminosity. The Pat McGrath, it's like a lit from within luminosity, whereas the Hourglass does look luminous, more glowy. But the Desert Orchid, it's just the perfect shade. It's so neutral, it's so inoffensive. Much like the Hourglass at Night, it goes with everything. It's beautiful, it's buildable. You can see them there next to each other. So this is Desert Orchid, this is Hourglass at Night, this is Elegance, and this is the Coral from the Bridgerton palette. But yeah, neutral blushes, can't go wrong with these two, or these three really. If you have lighter skin tone, Chanel Elegance for sure. So I've got a lot of use out of Desert Orchid. Like I've used it most weeks since I got it, and yeah, it still continues to be a favourite. And now for my most disappointing blush, and this was a fairly easy pick for me, just because A, this blush is so terrible and useless, and B, it was so expensive, which makes it extra disappointing. And yeah, this is the Chanel La Comète blush. This is the especially disappointing shade Peche Cosmique. I mean, I don't even know if I need to swatch it to tell you the problem here. It looks like a face powder for someone with quite fair skin. How is that marketed as a blush is my first question. It's white. It's white. There's been a terrible error here. Now, I do understand that there are people with very fair skin. I still don't know anyone who's able to use this as a blush. I've been told when I've been slating this before that people are using it like as a sort of highlight, which I can vaguely understand. I mean, it's not going to work on me. It's still much too light, but I understand if you had fairer skin tone, you could use it as a very subtle highlight. But it was marketed as a blush, and this isn't going to blush anybody. I'm sure it can't. So that was extremely disappointing, especially when this cost like 50 odd pounds, I think. And even if you are able to find a way to use it, I do find this, like, the formula is just underwhelming. The other blush that actually in this collection I can use on my cheeks, it does show up on me, is still not that great a formula. It's a bit chalky, it's a bit powdery, it's got incredibly overwhelming fragrance, which typically Chanel has, but I feel like they put an extra spray in here or something. Don't do that. Yeah, this was, yeah, disappointing is not strong enough of a word, but that's the one we've got. So there you have it. That is the blush tag from Michelle. Thank you so much to Michelle for this super fun blush video. I love a good blush roundup and a good blush video, so I was really excited to do this one. So thank you so much for those questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.